Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Nez Nation Live. This is the show where we bring you the objective truth, everything that woke mainstream media won't share with you. Today, we're going to break down. I have got something to share with you today. Everything that you must absolutely have to know about Kamala Harris, a detailed breakdown of her performance, her so-called achievements, and her career timeline. Most of you guys know she is now, I guess, the top billing for the Democrats because Biden stepped out. We did an entire video on that. She's raised millions, tens of millions of dollars in record-breaking speed. It seems like the Dems, I can't even call them the Democrats. I call them the radical, extreme, left-wing woke mafia are just all up in arms. They're all celebrating. But we have live breaking news. So I'm going to go through that. Stick around. A detailed step-by-step, all the way back from when she was San Francisco prosecutor, all the things that she doesn't want you to know. San Francisco prosecutor, attorney general of my state, California, vice president, to now the top of the ticket for the Democratic nominee in 2024. So we're going to go through a lot of this, clips, facts, stats. I've got an entire breakdown. You're going to love it. Tap that thumbs up. We want to get this out to as many people as possible. Has nothing to do with vanity. If you're watching on the replay, give me a team replay in the comments right now. Live viewers, welcome. It is awesome to see you guys. Come on in. Come on in. Breaking news. Joe Biden spotted for the first time in like 6 days since he, canceled his trip to Vegas, canceled his conference, his rally, as well as told the public that he was sick, that he had COVID. Then there was some kind of medical emergency. Then he dropped out of the race via text message, essentially, on X, aka Twitter. This is the first a live view of him returning back to the White House. I don't know. Is this a cheap fake? Is it real? I don't know. Let's take a look at this together and see what we have here. This is the first physical appearance of President Joe Biden since dropping out and in over 6 days. Looks like he's getting on the plane gingerly, holding a mask even though he doesn't. Doctors said he doesn't have COVID.
Well, they gave it the old college try. They tried.
Looks really, really frail. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you guys think of that. It's fantastic to see you all. Come on in. Come on in. So this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be, actually, let me share this really fast because this is remarkable. So what we've witnessed in the last couple of weeks has been nothing short of jarring, brain-busting, shocking, absolutely out of left field. I shared with you the video yesterday of Biden phoning in. Harris has changed the campaign. He's changed the Twitter feed, changed the website, is already headed to a rally. It seemed like it was the ultimate coup of an actual American president in real time. Can you imagine if we had cell phones back in the 60s or 70s or even before that? Holy macadamia nut. And it's mind-boggling to kind of realize that this is their pick. Somebody who didn't earn one primary vote, somebody who dropped out of the 2020 race before even the primaries began. Her popularity is about an inch higher than toenail fungus. Her approval ratings are down in the toilet. And then now she's raised tens of millions of dollars. This is her pick. And then why did Biden didn't tell us he was going to drop out? He just sent this strange digital PDF, essentially a text message, breaking up with America. And now Kamala Harris is running for president. Now she's looking at VP picks. Now she's at the top of the ticket. How does any of this make sense? It makes absolutely no sense. And if it was because of his cognition, if it was because Biden, which we all know, I know, I've been keeping you abreast of the situation for months, if not years, talking about this time and time again. Now, all of a sudden, he's got a problem and he can't run and he needs to drop out. Well, this is what Kamala said just a few months ago. Listen to this.
I think you will see that we have a very bold and vibrant president in Joe Biden. I'm not going to engage in that hypothetical because Joe Biden is very much alive and running for re-election.
Not only is he absolutely authoritative in rooms around the globe, but in the Oval Office.
And I can tell you, this is someone who is tireless in terms of working on behalf of the American people.
The way that the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts and clearly politically motivated.
So here we have somebody, this is something that I really, honestly, I just don't understand. This to me is the most egregious, and I want to get your thoughts on this before we get into her past. Everything you need to know about this woman, I'm going to cover it. So please tap the thumbs up and share this out. So you, in your own words, her own admission, said she has been around the president every single day, almost every single day for the past 3.5 years. You know it, I know it, that Biden was unfit to run, not just months ago, not weeks ago, not just this past week, not just at the debacle at the presidential debates where he just completely blew it against President Trump. No. We've known about this. Let me know in the comments if you've known about it as well, because I know you have. We've known about this for years that he was unfit. I knew about this back in 2020. You could see minutia, molecular signs that he was unfit for office. And then now you're going to tell us he's unfit, and now you're going to tell us you want our vote, Kamala Harris? Here's an honest question, just an honest question. If you are claiming all these things, that he's vivacious, he's with it, he's probing, he's astute, he's sharp as a tack. Remember, they all call this conspiracy theories. Why are you now all of a sudden saying he's out of it? Why are you now all of a sudden, and by the way, why didn't you warn America that we had a vegetable running our country, somebody who's in charge of important legislation, somebody who's in charge of opening up the border, letting in almost 20 million illegal migrants who've killed, raped, maimed, murdered American citizens? Why didn't you warn America if you saw that, if you think you're perceptive enough? If you deny it, you're lying, because the fact that he dropped out just cemented this fact. This is really all about character, you guys. We need to really dissect her character because it is so absolutely important. Okay? So we're going to go through this step by step. I have an entire breakdown of her entire career. You know me and my docs and my analytics. And so we're going to go through her legal career, her political record. So, and quite honestly, hopefully that this is why I'm begging you I beseech you to share this, tap the thumbs up so we can reach as many people. An informed citizenry makes informed decisions. And when we have informed citizens making informed decisions, everybody benefits. All of society benefits. All the way to when she was DA of San Francisco, prosecutor in San Francisco, attorney general in California, vice president of the United States, to now the presumptive nominee. First, I want to read from you this quote. You know, I like to start quotes, powerful quotes. Let me know if you guys can see this clearly. I'll try to do my best to make it as legible as possible. So 92%, this is a fact. And I implore you to do your own research. I used to say this to my students when I was teaching at the universities. Always do your own research. Don't take what any professor says. Don't take anybody's word for it. America is about critical thinking. That is your sovereignty. Our great forefathers, Thomas Jefferson, Waldo Emerson, Walt Whitman, Benjamin Franklin, critical thinking, critical discernment. I never teach you what to think. I want to teach you how to think. Dissect. Aristotle's principles of rhetoric, ethos, pathos, logos, audience, purpose, message. 92% of Kamala Harris's staff left in the very first year as VP. You know what they say? You want to know a lot about a person? Work with them. You know what? You want to know a lot about a person? Spend time around them. You want to know a lot about a person's character, their principles, their values? Travel with them. Essentially, what that all amounts to is being in their presence in situations that don't benefit them, perhaps directly. 92% of Kamala Harris's staff left in her first 3 years as VP. One staffer put it this way. Tell me what you think of this. It's clear that you're not working with somebody who is willing to do the prep and the work, a former anonymous staffer told the Washington Post. With Kamala, you have to put up with a constant amount of soul-destroying criticism and also her own lack of confidence. So you're constantly sort of propping up a bully, and it's not really clear why. By the way, question. Here's a question for all of you. Replay viewers, live viewers, this is a question for you. Please let me know in the comments. Can you name one achievement? Give me just one achievement that Kamala Harris has carried out since becoming vice president, since joining the government. Give me one achievement. We're going to talk about the so-called border czar. You guys, you and I both know our southern border, it's not just a crisis, it's catastrophic what's happening at the southern border. Oh, and now, by the way, she claims she's black, even though she's Indian American. So she lied about Biden's cognition. She lied about was he fit for office. She lied about being African American. She bullies her staff. She's impossible to work with. She has no confidence, probably because she has no qualifications. We all know she's probably a DEI hire. But I mean, in all honesty, this is in sincere honesty, somebody name for me one achievement. What has she achieved in her entire tenure at the government? Somebody please tell me. I would really, really love to know. Oh, by the way, stick around to the end. You're going to love this. I'm going to share with you not only a cringy montage, but I'm going to share with you an entire list of posts she put on Twitter, tweets that will make the hairs on the back of your neck rise and just make you absolutely flabbergasted. Stick around for that. I have an entire thread of things she's posted on Twitter over the years that will make your stomach turn, and you've probably never seen them before, and you won't believe them. Stick around. Stick around, and trust me, you don't want to miss this. Okay. So yeah, I'm still waiting to hear open borders, says Rick. Oh, this is a good one. Captain Mike, we got the best mods in the business. It's so great to see you. Captain Mike Shriver has a really good one. Kamala Harris is responsible for the death of Laken Riley. It's Laken, Laken. But I know what you mean, Mike. Don't worry about it. That's actually very accurate. And not just Laken Riley either, by the way, guys. Multiple innocent Americans. Because I want to remind you, they're not letting in families looking for a better life. These are not the Ellis Island immigrants who did it legally, by the way. Legally. There's nothing wrong with legal immigration. What's happening now at the southern border is a catastrophic invasion. The Border Patrol Union has made their feelings clear, abundantly clear and abundantly present, how much they despise the policies set forth by Biden and Harris. That's the Border Patrol Union, and they endorse Trump, by the way. These are not families looking for a better life. These are military-aged men, cartel members, thugs, gangsters, murderers, rapists. So it's not just Laken Riley. It's tons and tons of other innocent Americans. Robert Winsman, you just took the words out of my mouth. This should make every American's blood boil. This is the person that this radical, extreme woke mafia is touting to be the next president of the United States. Are you effing kidding me? And we haven't even begun yet. Holy mackerel. Okay, so let's go through this. Her time as prosecutor in San Francisco. Let me see if I can do 250. Can I do 250? I can't. Okay. In 2004, Harris chose not to pursue the death penalty against a gang member who had killed a police officer. This decision was controversial and drew a lot of criticism from some law enforcement. So it's well known, okay? It's well known that Harris is not a proponent of law enforcement. It's well known that she has touted defund the police time and time again. I'm going to share with you a video clip in just a second, but that in 2004 was one of the most controversial. Everybody during that period was like, what is wrong with DA Harris? What's going on here? Why is she not pursuing, punishment to the fullest extent of the law? There was no justification for it. And the tragedy was the families felt the brunt of that. The families of the deceased police officer got zero justice. If there's one thing you want to know about candidate Harris, she does not back the blue. Remember that amazing speech by Madame Brame at the RNC? Lost her son and pleading with America that if you don't back the blue, her son served in overseas, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, was a police officer, killed in the line of duty, received nothing from the Democrats. Just wait. It gets worse. Just wait. These are, by the way, these are all facts. Do your own due diligence. Execute and do your own research. I implore you. And then come back and leave a comment. I have done my own due diligence. I always do my own qualitative and quantitative research. Okay, second point. Kamala Harris, this is really important. Kamala Harris encouraged people. I have video footage to back this up in an interview. Kamala Harris encouraged people to contribute to a bail fund to free violent rioters. One of those free ended up being charged with murder. Kamala Harris bails out criminals and Americans pay the price. Can you believe that? That's what Kamala Harris does. She bails out criminals. And I'm going to actually, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to share with you a video clip, okay? I'm going to share with you a video clip of Kamala Harris in an interview where she talked about supporting BLM writers. You're not BLM writers. You're not going to believe what she says here. This is the most atrocious I've ever seen in my life. Listen to this. Watch what she says. Listen very carefully. This is the person, this is the individual that the left wants to be the next president of the United States.
I know that there are protests still happening in major cities across the United States. I'm just not seeing the reporting on it that I had
that's right.
for the first few weeks.
That's right. But they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And they're not, this is a movement. I'm telling you, they're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And everyone should take note of that on both levels, that they're not going to let up, and they should not. And we should not.
Wait a minute. Let me understand you correctly. Did everybody just hear what the next presidential nominee for the Democrats just said? She literally, in that interview, condoned promoted and approved and essentially sponsored deadly, horrific looting and violence from a known terrorist organization called BLM. Do you guys remember what BLM did to all these beautiful cities across the land in 2020 in the summer of love, the new summer of love? How many people remember that? Let me know in the comments. Did you just hear what she said? Let me just, this is insane. Listen, she says, beware. She tells Americans, beware. This is who we want running our country? Oh, and by the way, she didn't show up when Benjamin Netanyahu, his plane landed yesterday, and she is now protesting and not going to be present during his address to Congress. What do you think of that? But listen to this.
And this is a movement, I'm telling you, they're not going to stop. And everyone beware.
Everybody beware. This is back in 2020. She's telling Americans, she's supposed to be the vice president of the United States, representing who? Americans. And she's telling hard-working, tax-paying citizens who abide by the law to beware of a criminal terrorist organization, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow patriots. This is the Democratic nominee.
Because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that they're not going to let up, and they should not.
They're not going to let up, and they should not. My fellow patriots, I beg you, please stop for a second and tap the thumbs up. It's not for vanity. It's not for me. This entire video is to get our country back. We cannot allow this vermin to be the next president of the United States. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Nez, there's no way. Look at Trump. He's ahead of the polls. I know these people. I know people like Kamala. I've worked with people like Kamala. I know them. I know what makes them tick. I know their anatomy, how they think, their ruthlessness, their selfishness, their nepotism, their narcissism. They don't give a rat's ass about you. They don't give a rat's ass about me. They don't give a rat's ass about America. Tap the thumbs up. It takes you 2 seconds. Share this with everybody. This is the truth about Kamala Harris. She's hoping to God that nobody remembers. I'm here to be your eternal reminder on the record. It's on the record now. She promotes, sponsors, and condones vile rioting, destruction of property, and violence. Literally. And she's telling law-abiding Americans, she's telling citizens who pay their taxes to beware, and that it's not going to stop. What are your thoughts on that? Let me know in the comments. I'll tell you what it makes me feel like. It makes me feel absolutely livid. That's what it does. It makes me feel absolutely livid. So she's got that going for her, okay? But wait, there's more. Oh yeah, we haven't even begun yet. There's so much more. As San Francisco District Attorney, Kamala refused to turn over San Francisco Archdiocese files in her office's possession that contain details of how the church dealt internally with alleged pedophile priests going back as far as 80 years. Oh yeah, she's all about transgenderism. She's all about giving your kids puberty blockers before the age of consent. She condones, sponsors, and approves of Gavin Newsom's most egregious law that just got passed, saying parents don't need to know anything about their kids if they identify as this or that, or they want to engage in transgender ideology. And oh yeah, of course, she protects pedophiles as well. This is your Democratic nominee. My fellow patriots, my fellow Americans, this is who wants to be president of the United States. But wait, there's more. Oh, there's so much more. These are the things she doesn't want you to know. These are the things woke mafia media, the indoctrination camps, called CNN, CBS, our universities, all of our universities. I have firsthand witness as well as my due diligence. This is what they don't want you to know about this pariah. They don't want you to know this. Her entire campaign, her entire platform is absolutement garbage. Everybody write garbage in the comments right now. Absolute garbage. Okay, there's more though. There's more. We're not even close. We haven't even gotten to when she was AG of my beautiful state and she's destroyed it. Kamala Harris was also a weak on crime prosecutor. When she served as San Francisco's DA, she granted probation to a man that went on to murder 2 people. Kamala Harris would do nothing to make your neighborhood safer. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, let me just ask you a quick question. Do you feel safer now under the Biden-Harris regime than you did 4 years ago under Trump? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Do you feel safer now? Look at Los Angeles. Look at San Francisco, the dystopia that San Francisco has become. Look at Chicago. Look at Washington, D.C. I want to take my kids on vacation to the capital of our glorious, beautiful republic. Do you think I can right now safely? Do you think I feel comfortable taking my kids to a park nowadays? Not as safe as I used to. Everybody type in the comments, refund, not defund, refund the police. What happened with the BLM riots, what happened with the BLM movement, which this candidate, Kamala Harris, sponsors and condones, has initiated a calamitous campaign to literally create anarchy. And we're seeing that all over. Our fellow brothers and sisters in law enforcement feel completely out of sorts, feel completely removed from their duties. They are walking on eggshells. They feel they can't carry out and enforce the law anymore without somebody litigating them. It is an absolute catastrophe what has happened to our men and women in blue. Back the blue. Everybody in the comments right now, type in back the blue. Because you know Trump will. Trump has stated that many, many times, and we were much safer under Trump than we are now. Look what's happening at our border. Every major metropolitan city is feeling the rent. Look at New York City. Migrants are beating up cops and getting off because you have blue DAs, George Soros funded woke mafia DAs like Do Nothing Alvin Bragg, Letitia Big Shame James, Fannie Cash Money G. Willis, George Gascon in Los Angeles, the mayor of Chicago, the DA of Chicago, I can't remember their name. It's a catastrophe. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, Kamala Harris doesn't believe in prosecuting the law. Just to kind of compound that point a little bit more, Kamala Harris loves criminals, but she hates the police. She supported the defund the police movement and said we need to, quote, reimagine public safety. What the hell does that mean? I thought public safety was just fine when we actually enforced the law and we actually put criminals behind bars. Hey, I don't know about you, but I actually thought we did a pretty good job of that. She even applauded the Los Angeles mayor for slashing police funding by $150 million. Oh yeah, she celebrated. She said, good job. Remember the interview with Stephen Trader Colbert? Remember the interview? She says, oh, you better beware. This is a movement and they shouldn't stop. They should keep rioting. They should keep looting. This is who you want to be president of the United States? Okay, let's move on to California Attorney General. If I keep talking like this, this is going to be a 3-hour stream. You guys know me. Okay, so that was just when she was a DA. But wait, there's more. We haven't even gotten to recent accomplishments, quote unquote, achievements. In 2010, as the California Attorney General, a federal judge ruled that the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation had violated the constitutional rights of prisoners by overcrowding and failing to provide adequate medical care. Harris, as the state's top law enforcement official, was criticized for not doing enough to address these issues. She was misappropriating funds, and she was violating the constitutional rights of prisoners who were actually serving their time, doing what they were supposed to do, which is pay their debt to society. Okay. And she was misappropriating funds to actually run campaigns for her fellow cohorts and consortium. By the way, you guys know I cover Cash Money G, Fani Willis, all the time. Guess what? Her and Cash Money G are like peas in a pod. Cash Money G, Fani Willis, has met with Kamala Harris multiple times during the Trump indictment, during the disqualification hearing, and even during the Georgia Senate committee hearing by Senator Bill Cowsert. Why, Cash Money G? Why is she meeting with Kamala Harris? Because Kamala Harris is her mentor. Kamala Harris is teaching Cash Money G how to get away with everything. The brazenness, my fellow Americans, the absolute narcissism of Kamala Harris. She knows she's not going to be held accountable because of the worst idea that ever infected a society, worse than Ebola, worse than COVID. That is DEI. DEI kills. DEI is the worst infection that this society of ours, that Western civilization has ever known. Those are my words. That's my estimation. And I know it for a capital F fact. But wait, there's more. Oh, there's so much more. You guys have to know. Please tap that thumbs up. In 2012, Harris declined to defend Proposition 8, a state constitutional amendment banning same-sex marriage, in court. While this was seen as a victory by many LGBTQ plus advocates, some criticized her for not upholding the law as written. So due to her narcissism, due to her own, again, what's happening right now with Biden, this absolute unabashed coup on a sitting president of the United States of America, it just speaks to the fact that they don't care anymore. They're not hiding their corruption anymore. But wait, there's more. It gets even worse. When SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of America, of the United States, told AG, then Attorney General Kamala, California's jails were so overcrowded, it constituted cruel and unusual punishment, she fought the order because she used inmates as cheap labor. How many people have seen Shawshank Redemption? Remember that warden using the free labor to get millions and millions of dollars in free contracts? Oh yeah, Kamala Harris, there isn't a stone unturned. There isn't an opportunity out there to embezzle, to engage in racketeering, to engage in every ethical, prosecutorial misconduct and ethical violation of the law. She's done it. She is the mentor to Fani Willis. She is the mentor to her. Check this out. Let's keep cooking. We're cooking now. Kamala's California DOJ, listen to this, my God, paid out $1.1 million to settle sexual harassment claims. One settlement of nearly $650,000 of taxpayer dollars was made in 2013 to a special agent with the DOJ who'd been awarded $500,000 by a jury in 2010, quote, after it determined that the DOJ had failed to take reasonable steps to prevent retaliation or harassment against him. Many of those who filed claims cited the culture of fear and retaliation that Kamala Harris perpetuated. Holy mackerel. You're not going to see that in a Kamala Harris ad. You're not going to see that in any articles written by the New York Times, the Washington Post. You're not going to see that on CNN. You're not going to see that on ABC, CBS, or NBC. No, you're not going to see that. This is the Kamala Harris that she doesn't want you to know. This is the true Kamala Harris. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party in 2024. What do you think of that? Let me know in the comments. Jiminy Christmas. And I never curse. You know, you got to have fun while you're doing this because otherwise it just drives you crazy. At least that's the way I look at it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. Okay, moving on. But wait, there's more. Let's get to her 2020 presidential campaign. You want to talk about some doozies? Check this out. Harris struggled to articulate in 2020 a clear vision for her campaign and was criticized for flip-flopping on issues like healthcare. Remember that? She flip-flopped on this. I'm for Obamacare. I'm not for it. Actually, I'm for privatization. I'm not for it. Well, anything that would give her an edge, she's for it. Hey, Kamala. Psst, psst. Hey, Kamala. Okay, we all know he's a vegetable, but go on live TV and just tell America that he's with it. He's sharp as a tack. Sure thing. I'll do it. Whatever you tell me. Does that mean I'm guaranteed a spot? Sure, we'll take care of you. Okay. You want me to lie? Sure, I'll do it. You want me to maim? Sure, I'll do it. You want me to create a dereliction of duties? Sure, I'll do it. She'll do anything to get ahead. There is nothing, zero scruples with this creature called Kamala Harris. This is the stuff you won't hear about. This is the stuff mainstream media won't tell you. She was also accused of running a campaign that was too focused on identity politics and not enough on policy. Aha, the queen of identity politics. Oh, yeah. Well, why do you think she didn't run on policy? Because she doesn't have any. She doesn't believe in anything. There's only one thing she believes in: the attainment of power and the retention of power. What we're seeing right now with this ousting of a sitting president of the United States of America, who still has yet to make a public appearance, public address, a national address, a televised address, is nothing short of House of Cards. Frank Underwood would be sheepish. Frank Underwood would be blushing at the ruthlessness that is emitted by cackling Kamala Harris, the presumptive nominee for the Democrats for the next president of the United States. Remember when Harris grilled Brett Kavanaugh for his Chief Justice appointment? Listen to this. Though Harris grilled Justice Brett Kavanaugh during his confirmation hearings, constantly claims to be fighting for women and claimed to believe Joe Biden's accusers at one point anyway, Harris didn't stand up and fight for a woman who worked in Harris's California DOJ as an executive assistant. Oh, how convenient. Remember when she was going up against Joe Biden, calling him he was not for women, and all his accusers, never mind the Ashley Biden diary, all the people who came out and said Joe Biden molested me, sexually harassed me, etc., etc. Well, no. She was all about that when it benefited her. But when a woman actually came forward and said, Brett Kavanaugh, did this to me, where was she? Probably because the man accused of sexual harassment was one of Harris's longtime henchmen. The woman, Danielle Hartley, was awarded $400,000 in a settlement in 2018. This was during her campaign for president in 2020. What do you guys think of that? Is this surprising to anybody? Are there any Democrats, any liberals in the audience who are saying, I don't care, I'm going to vote for her no matter what? Somebody let me know in the comments. I'm just genuinely curious. No, Dean Warmer, this is live. I can see you, Dean Warmer, on Twitch. This is not recorded. You know what, MG? It's so great to see you. There's so much to talk about her, and there's only so much time in a day, right? But I challenge anybody who can talk about something she's achieved on a positive note, or something she's achieved, period, other than a complete melee, a long, arduous trail of corruption, racketeering, embezzlement, favoritism, nepotism, prosecutorial misconduct, judicial misconduct, and a direct miscarriage of her oath of office. All right, let's talk about how she did as a vice president, shall we? This is what she stood for as a vice president. Let's talk about the border czar, shall we? Kamala Harris wants murderers and rapists to live without fear of deportation. She backed abolishing ICE, the agency that arrests and deports dangerous criminals. Harris said, we need to think about starting from scratch. What in God's name does that mean? We need to think about starting from scratch? I beg your pardon? What in God's earth does that mean? So she was deemed the border czar, if you remember that, okay? And she hadn't once, in her entire tenure, hadn't once gone down to visit said border. The head of ICE, the head of the Border Patrol Union, both admitted on live television on 60 Minutes that they hadn't had one conversation, not only with Vice President Harris, but they haven't even had a conversation with President Biden. Gee, I wonder why. Why do you guys think that is? Harris has also been criticized for handling of the border crisis, with some accusing her of not doing enough to address the root causes of migration. How about nothing? I'm being polite here. She did nothing to address the root cause of migration. Kamala owns Joe Biden's open border policy. By the way, Pete Buttigieg just went on live television and said, if Kamala Harris gets elected, you're going to see consistency throughout her tenure, essentially saying she's Joe Biden 2.0. How many of you want Joe Biden 2.0? Let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you want Joe Biden 2.0, a thumbs up emoji, or give me a thumbs down emoji in the comments. Kamala owns Joe Biden's open border. Since she has been put in charge of securing our southern border, more than 10 million, and believe me, that is extremely modest. It's way more than 10 million. It's more like 18 million. Illegal migrants have entered the U.S. Kamala Harris even said the border was secure. This makes me just want to punch my absolute monitor right now. Kamala Harris even said the border was secure just days after Laken Riley's killer illegally crossed the border. Can you guys believe that? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. She's done nothing for the border. We've had record-breaking. Look at all these. I like that Emil. Emil gives a different kind of emoji. Look at all these thumbs down. Deanna, Tommy, good to see you. Jean, bunch of thumbs down. Dawn, Lindsay, Cynthia. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs down emojis. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. Does she have your vote? Give me a capital Y for yes or a capital N for no in the comments. This makes my blood boil. The border czar is trying to run for president on a track record where we have seen record-breaking, historic border crossings over the past 3.5 years. That's the individual who wants to be the next president of the United States. Am I nuts, or does this seem the most anti-American thing anybody can do is to vote for this filth, to vote for Joe Biden 2.0? Who wants to vote for Joe Biden 2.0? And now she's playing the black card. I'm black. You should vote for me because I'm black. She's not even black. She's Indian American. And by the way, that's an insult to African Americans. Why should I vote for you based on skin tone, a trait that nobody has any control over? What about actual merit? a meritocracy. That's an insult, okay? I'm telling you right now, all my black brothers and sisters out there are insulted by Kamala Harris. They earn their way. They earn their right. They earn their dollars. They earn their citizenship. They earn their ability to take care of themselves and their family. They don't want anything handed to them. It's an insult. Wilmer, I love that comment. Wilmer, I lost your comment, Wilmer. Wilmer, oh, there it is. Wilmer says, Latinos for Trump 2024. I love it. This is the same person who wants to run for president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. The borders are. The borders are. Holy mackerel. Kamala Harris wants to give your hard-earned money to illegal immigrants that are abusing the system. Harris actually supports giving taxpayer-funded health care coverage to illegal immigrants. Oh, yeah, she supports it 1 billion%. She supports giving illegal migrants. We have veterans out there who don't have health care. People who have sacrificed, our brothers and sisters who have sacrificed their life for the freedoms that we enjoy in this amazing country of ours. We have homeless veterans who not only can't, get a health insurance, they can't get any support whatsoever. But she wants to give all of our taxpayer money to illegal immigrants, these cartels, thugs, rapists, murderers. That's what she wants to do. Oh, and by the way, here's a doozy. She also wants you to pay more in taxes. She voted against the Trump tax cuts and said that represented our favorite, your girl, my girl, we all love her, not really at all, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC's 70% income tax rate idea was fantastic. She actually said, quote, that is a fantastic idea. We have a $34 trillion debt. They've given over $200 billion of our hard-earned taxpayer money to fight a never-ending war in Ukraine, which every military expert, colonel, general has stated explicitly it is inevitable that Ukraine will lose. She wants to give our taxpayer money over to illegal immigrants and pay for their credit card, their home, their health care. And now she's saying, oh, we need more of your money to do that. We're going to tax you 70%. Who wants to vote for this? Are you going to see this on CNN? Nope. You're going to see this on ABC? Nope. You're going to see this in the New York Times? Nope. And by the way, again, do your own research. Look all of this up. I did all the research for you, so you don't have to. But I implore you, don't take my word for it. Do your own due diligence. But wait, there's more. She not only wants you to pay more taxes, okay, but she wants to control what you can eat. Check this out. Harris wants to change the country's dietary guidelines to reduce the amount of red meat you can eat. Can you imagine how that's going to turn out? How many have you heard of DeSantis banning fake red meat, essentially lab-grown red meat? DeSantis banned it in Florida. This has a lot to do with the climate control nutbaggery, psychotic climate control activists, pushing that on the American people. And now she wants to not only make you pay more taxes, she wants to change the dietary guidelines. So, of course, it doesn't benefit you or me. It benefits her and her pockets. So now she's going to ban red meat in favor of organic lab-grown meat. That sounds delicious. Not. So we've talked about her time as a prosecutor, her time as attorney general, her time during the campaign trail in 2020, her time as vice president. And I'm not even scratching the surface, really. There's so much more egregiousness from her. How about her ambition and authenticity? What about her qualifications? Some have accused Harris of being overly ambitious and calculating. You think? In her political career. pointing to her decision to run for president despite not having a clear path to victory. How about the fact that she has accrued all of the delegates without earning one primary vote? How is that democracy? This is the party that says democracy is on the ballot. How is that democracy? Can somebody explain this to me? Is that democracy? She hasn't earned one vote, and yet she's the presidential nominee? Excuse me? Huh? Say what? There have also been questions about her authenticity. Yeah, no boop. And whether she truly represents progressive values, with some critics accusing her of being a cop in the Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Democratic nominee, my fellow Americans, Kamala Harris. You will not see this anywhere else. These are the things that nobody tells you about. This is the truth about her nebulous track record, her quote-unquote achievements, or you could say her catastrophic destruction and the path leading up to this. This is what she doesn't want anybody to know. Other criticisms. Harris has been criticized for her record on criminal justice reform. She's also faced criticism for her handling of sexual harassment allegations, sleeping with the mayor of San Francisco in the 90s and getting appointed by him to her first positions of influence. There he is, Chief Willie Williams of San Francisco, right? Having an affair with a married man. A presidential campaign that was so bad, she dropped out 6 months before Iowa. Picked for the VP solely because of her race and gender, because she had zero qualifications. Zero. She became the most unpopular vice president in history, and now she's the unelected Democratic nominee for president. I can't say enough about her. So in a nutshell, in 1994, this is just a quick recap, and then I'll stick around. I'm going to share with you this Twitter thread that's going to blow your mind. In 1994, had an affair with San Francisco's mayor to start her political career. 2019, ran for president with no support, dropped out before the first primary. 2020, picked as VP due to race and gender. 2024, possibly being swapped in as the Democratic nominee, despite receiving literally zero votes, being the most unpopular vice president in the history of the United States of America. What have I missed? Now, check this out. Check out some of her tweets. This is an amazing Twitter thread of some of Kamala Harris's egregious tweets. This is January 29th, 2019. Can you guys see this? This is January 29th, 2019. You guys remember Jussie Smollett and the fake racial attack? Look at what she says in January 2019. Jussie Smollett is one of the kindest, this goes to character, is one of the kindest, most gentle human beings I know. I'm praying for his quick recovery. This was an attempted modern-day lynching. No one should have to fear for their life because of their sexuality or color of their skin. We must confront this hate. Virtue signaling without knowing a shred of the truth. This should make every American sick to their stomach. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, this is the Democrats' choice for President of the United States. Are you effing kidding me? Oh, she raised money for BLM thugs, including bailing out a guy who later committed murder. If you're able to chip in, this is a tweet using the Act Blue Fund. If you're able to chip in now to the MN Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota, she shares a link. She was sent to Europe also to prevent the Russian invasion of Ukraine, where she provoked Putin. A day later, he invaded.
But if you believe Putin has made up his mind, what leverage do you really have? Why not put those sanctions in place now?
The purpose of the sanctions has always been and continues to be deterrence. But let's also recognize the unique nature of the sanctions that we have outlined. These are some of the greatest sanctions, if not the strongest, that we've ever issued. As I articulated yesterday, it is directed at institutions, in particular financial institutions and individuals, and it will exact absolute harm for the Russian economy and their government.
But if Putin has made up his mind, do you feel that this threat that has been looming is really going to deter him?
Absolutely. We strongly believe. And remember also that the sanctions are.
So we strongly believe, even though he invaded the next day. Oh, how about the time that Kamala Harris said that we need to reduce population in order to stop climate change? Here's a
About the impact on something like public health. When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
And they actually clapped. Did you guys hear that? In order to stop climate change, which many scientists have come out and say there is no such thing, it's a hoax, she says we need to reduce the population. What? Sounds like 1984 to me. The time Tulsi Gabbard embarrassed her back in 2020.
Congresswoman Gabbard, you took issue with Senator Harris confronting Vice President Biden at the last debate. You called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
That's true.
She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you.
So you've got multiple examples of the utter egregiousness of her track record, the fact that she hasn't accomplished one thing. I'm still waiting. Somebody name one thing she's accomplished. As a prosecutor in San Francisco is now a dystopia. She had an affair with the San Francisco mayor to start her career. She ran for president in 2019 with zero support. Literally, her approval rating was so bad, she dropped out before Iowa, before the first primary. It was obvious why she was picked for vice president in 2020, and it had nothing to do with her qualifications. You know it, I know it. And now she's created a literal coup and swapped out a sitting president of the United States of America. And she has no shame. She has zero shame. She supports rioters and looters. She's not hard on crime. Is the very opposite. She's hard on police. She promoted defund the police. She told Stephen Colbert, beware, there's going to be more riots. There's going to be more looting. There's going to be more violence. And even said there should be more. Okay. She is probably the least popular vice president in the history of America. Her approval ratings are down the toilet. And her authenticity is sorely lacking. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know you're not going to probably be able to watch this, but I have to share this because it's important. And everybody deserves to hear this. Please check this out. And then I'm going to, I've got some more stuff for you. Check this out. This is really bad. Listen to this.
We've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
Listen, I've been to the border before. I will go again. But when I'm in Guatemala dealing with root causes, I think we should have a conversation about what's going on in Guatemala.
So, can you commit right now that you will indeed visit the U.S.-Mexico border, and will you do it soon?
Jeremy, let me tell you something. Yes, I will, and I have before. I've said I'm going to go to the border, and
When are you going to the border, Vice President?
Administration has asked. I'm not finished.
Wow.
I've said I'm going to the border.
Oh, it's so cringy.
I think it is important to look at folks like Haley and Kelly
Oh,
and also say we're going to take note of the fact that during the pandemic, over 2 million people, 2 million women people became unemployed. Because in some people's mind, that means, well, you're going to have to Xerox or photocopy your ID to send it in to prove you are who you are. Well, there are a whole lot of people, especially people who live in rural communities, who don't, there's no Kinko's, there's no Office Max near them. People have to understand that when we're talking about voter ID laws, be clear about who you have in mind and what would be required of them to prove who they are. More parents are seeing the value of educators when they had to bring their kids and said, "We're not
do
paying."
it. I just can't do it anymore. I can't. I have to stop. I can't do it anymore. It's driving me crazy. She was the border czar. She was the border czar, y'all. And she hadn't once, not once, has she gone to the border. Not once. She was the border czar, everybody. We've had the worst border crossings in the history of our country. She wanted to abolish ICE. She wants to defund the police. These are the things that Kamala Harris stands for. And nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about this. You heard her on Lester Holt. Lester Holt says, you haven't even been to the border. The Border Patrol Union and the head of ICE both said we've never even, not once had a conversation. Not once have we had a conversation with Kamala Harris. Let me just say this too from personal experience, y'all. Having said all of this, having dissected and analyzed her career from the beginning, when she had an affair with the mayor, when she became prosecutor, DA of San Francisco. San Francisco is a dystopia now. She became Attorney General of California. California has a $100 million deficit, a homelessness crisis that we've spent billions of dollars on. It's getting worse for 20 years. Crime waves up, a southern border that's disastrous, the largest exodus of residents and businesses in the state's history. She's destroyed that, okay? So everywhere she goes, are we seeing a pattern here? Everywhere she tiptoes, what does she leave in her wake? Total calamity, catastrophe. My fellow Americans, Nez Nation, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. Did not even get enough votes when she was trying to run for president. Attacked President Biden. Attacked him. Remember that scene? That very viral scene where she attacked him and it went viral? Because all she cares about, I'll give her one thing. There's one thing that she can, you have to give her credit for. She is ruthlessly ambitious. That's about it. Most narcissists are. Most sociopaths are. They don't let anything get in their way, especially morals and ethics. They don't let anything get in their way. You're not going to see this anywhere. You're not going to see this in woke mafia media, mainstream media, CNN, anywhere. You're not going to see this in the New York Times, Washington Post. You're not going to see this anywhere in Axios. I know these people. I've worked with these people. They are pariahs. They don't have souls. They are empty and vapid. They don't give a rat's ass about you, and they don't give a rat's ass about me. You guys are absolutely fantastic. I really hope you will tap the thumbs up. Again, it has nothing to do with me. I don't care about the likes. It's not about vanity. When you tap the thumbs up, which is free and takes you less than a second to do, go ahead and do that now. It signals the algorithm to push our video to more people. When you have an informed citizenry, they make informed decisions. And when our fellow citizens make informed decisions, everybody benefits. You benefit, I benefit, our entire civilized society benefits. I'm going to give some shout outs to all the super chat and new members. Welcome. And then we can have a little live Q&A with members. Dallas D, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Her only profound speech was the how dare they speech delivered after Roe was overturned. If only she was as passionate about the border as she was ensuring a woman's right to red rum a baby. Thank you so much, Dallas. Emil, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Emil, you absolutely rock. You deserve an applause. Thank you so much, Emil. That is absolutely awesome. Emil with the $5 super chat. I was watching Destination Live when Trump got shot. Crazy random day. That was nuts. Thank you, Emil. God bless you, Patriot. Jay Hunter Lee, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Didn't she hide evidence that she would have exonerated blood? Yes, we talked about that. Yes, she did. Absolutely. And actually, that's what Tulsi Gabbard talked about, too, when she roasted her. Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. Leon Benjamin, thank you so much for the $1.99 super sticker. You rock. Thank you so much. Leon Benjamin, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. There's no way that she qualifies for president of the United States. You can say that again. Thank you, Leon. You rock. You absolutely rock. Thank you so much. Let's see who we got here. MG, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You rock, MG. MG says many migrants came here illegally to get away from the bad element in their country, and now Biden administration is welcoming that bad element into the U.S. Shameful indeed. This is one of, I think, the most absolutely, clearly shocking facet to not only Joe Biden, but more importantly, to Kamala Harris, who is now the nominee for the Democrats. This is the individual they deemed the border czar. I thought we hire people based on looking at their resume, looking at their accomplishments, their achievements, their qualifications. This is literally a person. I just went through her entire resume. If you're just joining us, rewind, because I went through in great detail her entire timeline, essentially her entire resume of quote unquote achievements, more like catastrophes. And this is the person that wants to be president. This is the person that donors are giving tens of millions, that people like George Clooney, Jack Black, and Barbara Streisand and Rob Reiner are supporting. These are the kind of people that Pelosi is support. This is a woman who was deemed the border czar. She never once met with the head of ICE, the head of the Border Patrol Union. And we have record-breaking, it's not even a border crossing. It's literally an invasion. Tens of millions of illegal migrants crossing the border. I mean, it's insane. This is the person who wants to be president? Am I nuts? Somebody make this make sense to me. Dallas D, you rock. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. She qualifies for Monica Lewinsky's role in the... Oh, that's about it. You're right. You're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. The White Knuckler. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. If elected, they will call it the oral office. Touche. Very, very good. Emil, you're absolutely amazing. Gifted 5 new memberships. Thank you, Emil. You're absolutely phenomenal. You rock. You deserve another round of applause. Look at that. I salute you. I salute you, Emil. You're amazing. Ivan Popovich, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's what this is all about. Thank you so much, Yvonne. I want to leave this comment up here just for a second. It's all about sharing everything that I've done my own due diligence, qualitative and quantitative research, so you don't have to. But as I always say, and as I used to say when I worked in the public sector, teaching at the university, telling my students, I'm not here to teach you what to think. I'm here to teach you how to think. So do your own research. Use your sovereignty, which is critical thinking and critical discernment. Is anything Nez's saying true? Find out for yourself. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Prove me wrong. Go check it out for yourself. I guarantee you, you're not going to find a lot of things here that lack substance and evidence. Villain, it's good to see you. Villain is a brand new member. It's great to see you, Villain. How in the world are you? Great to see you, Villain. I'm so happy you're here. Okay, I'm going to have a little hangout with our members. If you want to become a member, now would be the time. But ladies and gentlemen, that is your nominee. That's your nominee for President of the United States. I hope you found that valuable. I hope you thought that was, so we're now in members only. If you're on Facebook, come on over to YouTube and think about becoming a member. Thank you, Facebook, for watching. Follow me on Facebook at Professor Nez. If you're watching on Twitch, come on over to YouTube. Just search your YouTube app, Professor Nez. Come on over. Consider becoming a member, and you can hang out with us for a little bit. Thank you so much over there on Twitch. And Rumble, come on over to YouTube. Hang out with us. Thank you so much for watching, Rumble. Come on over to YouTube and consider becoming a member, and you can hang out with us as well. Okay, members, how in the world are you? Robert Littlejohn, good to see you. Let's do a roll call here. Judy in the house. Laura Tilford, it's great to see you. Emil, thank you so much again. You're amazing, Emil. Thank you so much. Am I saying that right? Is it Emil or Amil? Give me a 1 if it's Emil. Give me a 2 if it's Amil. Thank you so much. You're the best. I hate butchering names. I try my best not to do that. No problem, Villain. No problem. Captain Mike Shriver, Howie's in the house. Papa V, it's so good to see you, Papa Vickers. Fantastic. Who's voting for Kamala after all that? Who have I convinced this is the person who deserves the highest office in the land? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you. Okay, so it is Emil. Okay, great. Emil, thank you so much. Fantastic. Thank you, Scott. You rock. You absolutely rock. Keenan in the house. Good to see you. Keenan went and looked up some of my old marketing videos. Keenan, you're a sweetheart. It's great to have you here. I saw your comment. Yeah, so let me see if there's anything latest breaking. You're absolutely right, Laura. It really is. It's just absolute craziness right now. We got some more footage. We got some more footage from Biden. Biden looks genuinely confused when a reporter asks him why he dropped out. Hold on a second. Let me share that with you. I mean, it's nice to see that he's alive, for crying out loud. It's nice to see that he's alive. So here, let me bring this up right here so you guys can check this out.
Why did you drop out, Mr. President? Why did you drop out of the election? Was it a difficult decision to make?
Wait a minute, you guys. Based on that video, does he even know that he dropped out? There was a lot of speculation about the signature on the letter wasn't really his. That the fact that he actually posted a tweet to break up with America instead of he didn't use official letterhead. I'm going to play that one more time. Do you think that he even knows that he dropped out?
Why did you drop out, Mr. President?
He goes, what?
Why did you drop out of the election?
You think he even knows? Then he laughs. Wait a minute. This is really interesting. Absolutely, Mike. Trump 2024 or America no more. I'm really confused here. Oh, yes. More breaking news, too. Thank you so much for sharing, Scott. The Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheadle, did resign this morning. She should have resigned a week ago. She should have resigned when it happened, that fateful day. Thank God that God intervened that day. Yeah, so that's more breaking news for you. But this is really interesting. Thank you so much, Allison, for the £1.99. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Allison. You rock. Yeah, I'm really confused. That seemed really suspicious right there. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he has absolutely no clue. So Kamala Harris spoke today as well. Let me see if I have some clips from that. Oh, here's a Jake Tapper clip from this is back in where she says she supports. Let me share this. She supports endorses universal health care and Medicare for all illegal immigrants. So check this out. This is interesting right here. I think I've kind of covered that, but this is just something interesting that we can kind of look at together. This was a flashback.
Also says, quote, every individual who is a resident of the United States is entitled to benefits for healthcare services under this act. Not every individual who's a citizen, but every individual who's a resident.
Mm-hmm.
So you support giving universal healthcare, Medicare for all to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this.
Oh, Jesus.
I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any.
Does she actually think that stuff works? Like that whole, I'm going to pretend to be really serious and probing. Does she actually think that works? I mean, is it just me? Or does she come off so cringy? It's like she is the queen of cringe. Oh, it's just awful. I can't stand that look in her eye. She's the worst thing that could ever happen to our country. Literally, I'm not even being hyperbolic. The worst thing that could ever happen to our country. Bar none. Bar none. Robert says we will not see Biden again. Yeah, maybe. Well said, Robert. Robert says, God save us from Kamala. I could not agree more. I could not agree more. So wait a minute. I knew she was going to speak. Did she speak already? I wonder if she actually spoke. So President Biden will address the nation from the Oval Office tomorrow evening. So he didn't address us on Monday or today, but Wednesday, and he announced on Saturday, what was it, Saturday or Sunday, that he quit. I can't remember. I mean, these last 2 weeks have been absolutely insane when it comes to what's been happening in our country. It feels like literally a surreal dream. Am I the only one who feels that way? Let me know in the comments. Here's Chuck Schumer, Chuck the Buck Schumer, saying that he's endorsing, God, this guy's awful. Absolutely. Another career swamp vermin. Let's hear what Chuck, let's hear what Chuck has to say.
So now that the process is played out from the grassroots bottom up, we are here today to.
Wait. What process? The coup? Let's hear that again.
So now that the process is played out.
What process played out? You mean the coup d'etat?
From the grassroots bottom up, we are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to. So now.
Whoa, that was awkward. Can somebody say awkward? I'm clapping. You don't have to.
Behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
Oh my God. Nobody in the audience applauded that. Nobody in the audience applauded that. Holy macadamia nut. Was that awkward, MG, or is that just me? Oh my God, that was so awful. That was absolutely awful to watch. President Trump just posted this. President Trump just posted this. Look forward to welcoming Bibi Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, tomorrow. During my first term, we had peace and stability in the region, even signing the historic Abraham Accords. Yeah, that's true. And we will have it again. Just as I have said in discussions with President Zelensky and other world leaders in recent weeks, my peace through strength in all caps agenda will demonstrate to the world that these horrible, deadly wars and violent conflicts must end. Millions are dying, and Kamala Harris is in no way capable of stopping it. Can I get an amen to that? Amen, President Trump. I could not agree more. Corinna Jean-Pierre just posted this, a memo about President Biden's health. Let's take a look at this. Breaking news. So, Corinna Jean-Pierre says the president's symptoms, it's from the doctor. The president's symptoms have resolved over the course of his infection. He never manifested a fever, and his vital signs remain normal to include pulse oximetry. That's oxidization. His lungs remain clear. Binax rapid antigen testing is negative. He will continue to be monitored for any recurrence of illness. The president continues to perform all his presidential duties. As always, I will continue to keep your office updated with any changes in his condition or treatment plan. Respectfully submitted, the White House physician, Kevin C. O'Connor. Interesting. Okay. So apparently the president's alive. He seems clueless, but he is alive and he's out there. So we'll have to see what happens now. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Just to kind of recap, okay? We have a candidate who does not have a single iota of an achievement, does not have a single iota of an accomplishment, was not qualified to be vice president, was not qualified to be attorney general, was not qualified to be a prosecutor, engaged in extramarital affairs to launch her power-hungry career, and now has engaged in nothing short of an usurpation of the worst kind, a coup d'etat of a sitting president of the United States, who you just saw that clip, doesn't even seem to be aware that he's not running anymore. What is happening in our country? What is happening? She supports BLM writers. She calls herself the border czar. We've got the worst border crisis in the history of our country. She doesn't prosecute criminals. She gives breaks to pedophiles, and she absolutely has zero shame when it comes to going after and grasping at the highest crown there is in our country. Frank Underwood from House of Cards would be red with shame seeing what Kamala Harris is capable of. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on today's show. Let me know what you think of what we talked about. As always, in the pinned comment, show notes, and description is our absolutely free newsletter. It's free. Go subscribe so you never miss out. Because sometimes even if you're subscribed or you follow us, you don't always get a notification. By subscribing to our free newsletter, it goes right to your inbox. Everything, all the latest breaking updates, live breaking news, conveniently sent right to your inbox. Before you leave, please tap that thumbs up, not for me, but so we can save our country, so more people know who this Democrat nominee is, who exactly is, deep down to her core, who exactly is Kamala Harris. Everybody needs to know. Every American, everybody in the world needs to know the truth about who Kamala Harris is. She doesn't want this stuff out. I did this stream. I went through diligently her entire track record for this very reason. We want to inform our fellow patriots, fellow Americans, our fellow citizens. So please tap the thumbs up, share this with everybody you know, subscribe to our free newsletter. And as always,